my stars, welcome back to my channel. I am very excited to have you here with me this week because we're talking about something that it is very essential to your growth journey. But before we get into it, I would really like to say a huge thank you to everyone for subscribing and trusting in the vision that I have for this channel. So we're currently at 222 subscribers, 222, and the growth that I have seen and all the lovely comments that I am receiving and the support from everyone, I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate every single one of you, and you guys make me want to come back and create more content and get to spend some time with you. Person that has digestive issues, skin issues, dealing with high blood pressure, you cannot retain information easily, or you have trouble concentrating, or you feel fatigued all the time, you most likely are stuck in survival mode. In this video, I will combine a little bit what survival mode is with the victim mindset, because these two go hand in hand, but we will place more emphasis on survival mode. So I went ahead and I did a research on survival mode because I want to be able to explain to you what it is in the most understandable way possible. And the only person that managed to make me fully understand what survival mode is Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I went ahead and I did some research. I watched some of his videos. I'm a huge fan of his books, so I pulled some notes from his book too, and I will go ahead and share it with you. So first of all, if you never read this book, read it. This book is so amazing. It is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you were thinking of reading this book, this is your sign. Go buy it, go pick it up right now. It is such a great book. I'm gonna start with this video explaining to you what is survival mode. So survival mode is actually that fight or flight system that we have within us whenever we are in danger. So being in survival mode has its pros and has its cons, because the moment you get into survival mode, then you're running away from something. There is a reason why you're in survival mode. There is a reason why that fight or flight has been activated. There are three types of stressors. We have physical stress, emotional, and chemical. So for the physical stress, it is an injury. It is going through an accident. The chemical stress comes from a flu, a virus, a bacteria, or toxins in the food that we're consuming, or from our environment. And last but not least, the emotional stress comes from family trauma, family loss, not being able to pay your bills. Stress keeps your body and brain out of balance. And as we know, in life, everything is about being balanced. There is not a single thing in life around you that it is out of balance. Being in survival mode was very helpful back when we were cavemen and you had a bear running after you. That's when you need survival mode, and survival mode shuts down some very vital systems in your body, which we will get into a little bit later. But for now, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, the definition of stress is when body and brain are out of balance. They are not in homeostasis. All organisms in the world, we can handle stress for a short period of time. That is very important. We can handle stress for a short period of time, not for prolonged periods. Now, being depressed, being anxious, those are side effects of living in survival mode for prolonged periods. Then that's when it becomes a personality trait. This is coming from a person that dealt with both anxiety and depression throughout my teenage years, and there is a way through, there is a way out by getting out of survival mode. So basically, when fight or flight activates, there are a lot of changes that occur within our body, and Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it here very nicely. So he says, the pupils dilate so we can see better. The heart rate and respiratory rate increase so we can run, fight, or hide. More glucose is released into the bloodstream to make more energy available to our cells, and our blood flow is shunted to the extremities and away from our internal organs so we can move quickly if we need to. The immune system initially dials up and then dials down as adrenaline and cortisol flood the muscles, providing a rush of energy to either escape or fend off the stressor. Circulation moves out of our rational forebrain and is instead relayed to our hindbrain, so we have less capacity to think creatively and instead rely more on our instinct to instantly react. As he mentions in the book, it increases cortisol level in our bodies, and as beautiful cortisol is and the amount of benefits that it provides to our body, when it's been pushed to such a high level, as well as adrenaline, it causes a lot of problems. And wave after wave, after the release of those chemicals within our bodies, then it becomes addictive. Stress becomes like a drug. It becomes an addiction, becomes a form of attachment. And usually when this happened, because we become so addicted to those chemicals, to that chemical release and adrenaline that we feel, then we tend to use problems from our past or conditions in our environment to reaffirm this addiction. Then because the energy in our body is not conserved the proper way, there is not enough energy for growth and repair. You become addicted essentially to a life that you don't even like, and then it becomes like a self-sabotage thing where you willingly put yourself in that bad situation, in that bad relationship, because without even realizing, you're like, I need to be in this bad situation for me to get stressed, for me to have that adrenaline rush, for me to have that energy. However, there are ways to exit survival mode, but there is something that you should be very, very aware of when exiting survival mode. Your body will feel so tired. You will need to rest more than usual. Why? Because after the body has been under stress for such a long period, it needs time to grow and recover and repair itself. So it needs extra good care, extra love. Be mindful of the food you're consuming. Make sure that you're staying hydrated, that you are taking care of yourself. To give yourself the space and allow yourself to actually rest and relax without keep on pushing yourself to those extremities. Now we're getting to the important part on how to actually exit survival mode. First of all, you need to allow yourself to release blocked emotions or any regrets that you might have. And you do this through meditation or journaling or dancing. Dancing is so good and it is so underrated, but it allows you, especially for women, it allows you to move these emotions out from the body. It gets that energy moving out of you. Also, you could use sleep tapes. Sleep tapes are so magical because when you sleep and you're unconscious, your subconscious mind is working. And those sleep tapes, it's kind of getting wired in. I feel like right now it's a great time to let you guys know that I am doing a very specific type of meditation that links up with another point that I have right here with inner child healing. I am combining stuff that I took from acting training and from the years of practice that I had when it comes to meditating, and the different techniques in meditating that I have tried, and I combine them together, and the results you get, you feel them in your body. And I am currently working on creating an inner child healing journal for you. Once it's ready, it will be available for you to purchase. And for whoever is interested, I do offer meditation, one-on-one guided meditation. I talk you through the whole experience. It usually takes from 1 hour to 2. It depends always on you. And we go through a very deep full body relaxation where you allow yourself to fully relax and release those emotions from the subconscious, from the root, from deep within you. Moving on to step number 2. This one is where the victim mindset and survival mode tend to link. So in survival mode, we're so stuck in what happens to the body, what happens to the environment, and to time. When you're under stress and you're focusing on time, it's like, how much time do I have to go there? Oh, I'm too old to do this. I'm too young to do this. I need to be at that stage in my life right now. No, you're perfect right where you are. For the body, you're focusing on the 3D aspect of everything. And the same goes with the environment. It's like, where am I going? What is happening? If I need to go there, which way is the safest way for me to go there? You are so focused on the known that you would much rather stay stuck, stay in a loop, repeating the old known patterns than trying something new. You're trying to predict the future and you're overthinking every single possible outcome in order for you to be safe. And you do that using memories from the past. So again, staying stuck in a narrative that didn't work in the past. So you're still reliving in a life that you don't want to. Now, being focused on these things activates the victim mindset. Remember that you are safe. Being where you're at right now, you are safe and you are divinely guided. I was watching Game of Thrones yesterday and I had this realization where, spoiler alert, Jon Snow never dies. He always keeps coming back. And I caught myself saying, oh wait, the Lord of Light really wants him alive. He doesn't die, he always comes back. The Lord of Light wants him alive. And then I was like, wait, I'm alive. You're alive. It means that God wants you alive. If he didn't, you wouldn't be here right now. And if you're watching this video, you're alive and you're here for a reason. So cold turkey on this addiction. Now, this is more challenging because it's not like an actual addiction, let's say, to caffeine, where you can say, I'm not going to drink coffee, I'm not going to drink any teas that have caffeine in it, and not do that. But you are actually fighting a war inside your head. So it is an invisible opponent. You're fighting something that you cannot actually touch or see. For you to do this, Dr. Joe Dispenza has a list of survival emotions and the elevated emotions. So you want to switch from one state to another. I will leave you a list on the screen right now. You can go ahead and screenshot it, and every time you notice that you are stuck into one of those survival emotions, I would highly recommend you pull out this list and shift. Tell yourself, I am no longer scared, I am no longer stressed, I am no longer angry, or I refuse to feel this hatred within me. and I simply shift into love and abundance and joy. Remind yourself that whatever it is going through, you don't need to try to control it. It is fine the way it is. However, you can choose a different path for you. So whenever you catch yourself into that old pattern, you can immediately tell yourself, oh, you know what, Anastasia, we're no longer doing this. Let's shift into love. Now that is where I want to be. That is the state I want to find myself in. So let's simply decide right now that we no longer do this. Just, it's all about a choice. At the moment you choose, you change. Number 4, there might be some inner child wounds that need healing. One of my biggest wounds was speaking up. So I will be terrified to speak up, to say my thoughts, to answer to people. And I had a tough time in my acting classes, because I remember I had a teacher when every time I was on stage performing, she would start screaming at me, I can hear you louder. And I know she was doing it because she literally couldn't hear me, and you have to hear the person on stage. That showed me that there was a blockage right there. And I was able to slowly work through it by getting to know my voice, by getting to know how to properly use my voice, how to talk, how to warm up. And when you're on stage, your voice needs to captivate the audience. You need to call attention on you. And there was such a huge blockage right there that I had to work through it. But when I did, I noticed that my whole body relaxed, because I got over a hurdle that I had for so many years. Number 6, every time you catch yourself running, slow down. Let's say you're out for a walk. Don't run. Move slower. When you're running or you're driving and you're in the car and everything is just so aggravating, you're so stuck up here and out there that you cannot enjoy this experience called life. But the moment you slow down, you actually get to enjoy it and relax. And this enjoyment comes from deep within you. Number 6, do something every day for like 30 minutes to an hour without getting distracted. So block a time on your calendar for 30 minutes to an hour, and it could be something you love. It could be you writing, it could be you reading. I love reading. I am a huge fantasy lover, so I read fantasy books, and being able to do that for hours and hours straight without getting distracted, it cultivates that concentration in you. We live in the digital ages right now that we are so used to swiping and seeing short clip after short clip, and our attention span gotten so short that it is so difficult for us to maintain focused on one thing for prolonged periods of time. So 1, this will help with that. It will allow you to keep your attention and focus on one thing for longer periods of time, while also being present. And the moment you do that, you are forcing yourself to slow down. Or without even realizing it, you slow down and you actually exit survival mode. And last but not least, Jim Carrey said this before: life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. You are not the victim of your life. You are the co-creator. And yes, I said the co-creator because you are co-creating it with God, with the divine, with the universe, however it is that you like to call this. You're co-creating it together. You have the power right now to take ownership of your life, of your reality. It is a tough pill to swallow. The moment you go and stand in front of your mirror and you're in this position because you made it that way, that's very hard. but also it gives you the power to change it. You're holding all the cards. You have all the power you need right now to go get your dream life, to go make it happen like this. I like to call this step looking into the Ouroboros mirror, because from one of the books that I read, there is this character that she has to look into the Ouroboros mirror, and nobody can look inside the mirror because they're seeing a beast. And what she saw a beast, yeah, but it was her. And maybe that beast that you have to face right now is you. But you have the power to take ownership. But don't forget to do that with unconditional love. Because if you think about it, you created this life. Whatever it is that you're experiencing right now, you managed to create it. You have created everything that you're experiencing right now, whether you like it or not. So you can change it, just like that. I love you so much, and thank you for being here.